So when you were young, I did some research and I found out that you didn't learn to read until later on in life. You overcame a lot of educational challenges and things like that. And I feel like that's important for us to start in that space so that people can really understand where you came from to how you're doing and what you're doing right now. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, that's you did your research. Yeah, so at the age of 7, well, first of all, I'm a third generation pastor's kid, so I come from a legacy of preachers.
Got you.
And so there was a lot of pressure around that, a lot of pressure around education and all of that kind of stuff. So when I was 7, they labeled I was labeled as ADHD, dyslexia, ADD, and I spent more time in the hallways than in the classroom. And I was just a troubled kid. I was ripping and running. I was everything. I was all of the things that are just a kid who never makes it in the classroom. I was kind of like held back twice, and it just became a real problem. And so as a result of that, I couldn't read till I was 23 fluently. And that was a struggle for me. I was an athlete, so I used my athletic ability to overcome some of the things.
What sport did you play?
Basketball, track, but I was really track was the thing. Like I had several offers, NC State, LSU, George Washington. I mean, the list goes on and on. Yeah. But again, I didn't have the education. So they passed me through in high school, and they were trying to pass me through in college, and I couldn't pass the SAT. I couldn't read. So tried to get over on the ACT, couldn't get over on that either. Yeah. Ended up at Howard County Community College, and I couldn't get through Howard County Community College. And it was just really tough. I can recall I was sitting in the back of the church, high on my mind, drunk on my mind, just all the way out. And there was a man by the name of Brian Scriven, who was the principal at Woodlawn High School. Everybody who if you play football, you probably know about him on the west side. And he went to my pop's church. And my pops really couldn't reach me. Brian Scriven could reach me. And Brian Scriven gave me a job at Woodlawn as a paraeducator. And I became a paraeducator. And I met this kid by the name of Tyler. Tyler was a student at Woodlawn, but he had palsy. And so I had to pick him up, wipe him. It was very humbling for me to really deal with somebody who couldn't fend for themselves. And so through that, a relationship with Tyler, and I kind of started focusing. And one day, my dad says back at church, some of y'all got to rip the labels off. A label is just a lie that limits you from your God-given potential. And it clicked for me. Got back in school, got into Corcoran Art School on an iPhone, taking pictures on an iPhone.
Nice. See, I was going to ask you that because the reason why I want to start ahead in the story, because to me it says that it taught you something about being resourceful, right? Because you had to navigate the whole world without something that, like, you got eyesight, but you just may not be able to interpret everything. But the thing and the beauty about iPhones, and we talk about it when we're dealing with businesses, Steve Jobs, he made it so intuitive that even babies know how to swipe left and right, right? So you just figured out, I'm going to just use the iPhone to do the thing I wanted to do.
Yeah, to get me into the school, because I had no other way. I had no camera. So it was just like, at that point, back in the day, like this is 2020, this is 2012, 2013.
Okay.
So the iPhones weren't as advanced. But if you remember, IG was like, who can you take pictures?
Yeah.
It really wasn't this whole camera. It was like, do you have that eye?
Yeah.
And it was really that. And so it was like taking pictures, kicks of the day, but some people were taking it from here, but other people, you got really creative. You started to really, and so I used that and got my black tail in that school. And that school ended up being bought by George Washington University.
Okay.
And I get a degree from George Washington University.
Nice. Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So I didn't get into George Washington. I got into Corcoran. School of Art and Design. And George Washington bought it. And so just like, And then I think I'm going to go to work at some firm. And God's like, nope, I don't want you to build buildings. I want you to build people.
Got you. Yeah.
And so I took that and I got started working with young people. Was a youth pastor for a little bit. and then the pandemic hits, and everything shuts down. World shuts down, and I come into this room that we're in right now, which was a Sunday school classroom.
Okay.
And for kids, and I set up a camera. And I teach myself how to, just like the GW situation with the iPhone, I teach myself how to use cameras, cinematic cameras, recordings. I fully immerse myself into this space. And this is 2020 when everybody was kind of trying to do content, but no, it wasn't like it is now.
Right.
And I just learned in real time.
That it is being resourceful again, right?
Yeah, it's that whole resourceful thing. It's that whole resourceful piece. And now I'm trying to figure out how to be resourceful again.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about that. But do you feel like you had a bit of a cheat code because your family, you come from your background, like they're orators, right? They're in church, they're speaking all the time. So despite whatever your challenges may have been, you knew how to communicate either through visually, like with your taste, or was speaking something that you had to like get those reps in 2020? Was that a part of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's what I call a philosophical project. My project is, what does it mean to live between two great men? My father is a pastor, and my father-in-law is a pastor.
Okay.
So I come from this legacy of pastors. And in Baltimore, there's this huge legacy of, Doc, you gotta know how to say it.
Yeah.
There's that pressure, like, if you come from that and you can't say it, what's going on? So I had to, it didn't just come naturally to me.
Okay.
I think there was some things that came kinetically, like there was some things that came from being an athlete that came like kinetically, like, hey, I know how to do this, but really being sharp and really mastering that pen and really knowing how to think in real time, like, yeah, that didn't come naturally. I had to really put my reps in, and that came in this room.
Nice. Well, I'm glad I'm in this room. I hope the energy's still here. I'm still getting my reps. I'm still getting my reps in.
Yeah.
I'm still getting my reps in.
Yes,
So
sir.
you said you started out, you were working with, God told you that you need to build people. So you're working with kids, and you dealt with labels as a young person. So did you talk to them about labels? Were you helping them kind of reframe how they approach the world because of how people tell them who they are and what they see?
No. To be frank with you, no. I didn't get comfortable with my story until I started Limitless.
Okay.
It was Limitless. Limitless was my story. That I was labeled as all of these things: trouble kid, bad kid, never amounted to anything. Similarly to a lot of people in this town called Baltimore. Like this city, Limitless, is not just a name; it's a declaration. And so I was labeled, but I feel like our city has been labeled.
Yes.
And so for me, I didn't have the know-how to say to those kids at that time,
Okay.
hey, you're being labeled, because I didn't really know that I was being labeled. I was just living in the manifestation of the lie, of the label. So at that point, no, I wouldn't say I was trying to tell them. I was just doing the best that I could with what I had.
Right.
It's now that I understand the power of somebody's story.
Got you.
I didn't understand it then. I understand it now, though.
Okay. So you talked about like your lineage, right? Your dad, your stepdad. What made you decide that you're going to build your own, that you're going to build Limitless? Because, I mean, they could just pass the torch to you, right? And if you're thinking in terms of like real frontier foundership, like you could possibly like join, what they have, their legacies, because you are like the next step of what could be. I mean, I don't know if your stepdad has other children or whatever, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying, right? You could put
girls.
like the both church bodies could come together under you, but you just said you're going to do it your own way. So, what sparked that idea?
Yeah, I think that same project, living between two great men. I still believe that. I don't know what the future holds with either of those churches.
Right.
But I do know that there's something powerful about a man building his own table. And so for me, I didn't want to be given anything, because if I was given something, then I wouldn't have been respected.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it's not just a church principle, it's a life principle, like build your own table. It's not until you build and you sweat at your own table, then other people start coming to your table. But if you're given a table, you don't kind of have the wisdom, you don't have the maturity, you don't have the know-how, you don't have the gravitas to like be able to serve people at the table because you ain't doing anything to make it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, oh no, I know how to build a table and I know how to get people to come to my table. And it keeps me humble because I didn't do it on my own. If I would have stayed at my dad's church, went to my father-in-law's church, I would have just inherited something. It's not bad.
Right.
Inheriting things is not bad. Legacy is not a bad thing. I do know though, especially in our community, especially what I feel like the call on my life is to be downtown and reach people who say, yo, I don't know about if I trust that institution like that. And so for me, building my own table was going to a club. For me, building my own table was me ripping and running with people that I used to be outside with, but now it's like, you're not Josh outside no more. Like you changed. Like you're a different man. So for me, building my own table was important because I think I don't know if it's a me thing. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know what it is, but I'm better because of it.
I'm glad you shared that because I was about to say a part of that, and I don't mean this in a bad way because I 100% agree. Like you have to be able to build your own thing because you get to learn all the ins and outs, and then you get to learn who actually matches, like who could be helpful. And if you inherit things, sometimes you get taught bad habits, right? Or all those types of things. But also when you mentioned it, just man to man, it feel like ego, but not ego in a bad way. Ego like enough confidence to know I need to have my own thing because the foundation will be stronger because of the insight I have in building it. But then you also mentioned being humble because you don't do it alone. So talk a little bit more about it because I don't know have you found anything prior to doing this? Because it sounds like and it could be from your teachings and education, but it sounds like you have experience, so you know enough to know that you need other people. So like, how do you know that already? Did you do something before?
Yeah, the podcast, the personal brand, the Transform You podcast, I never built a church before, but I'm churched. I come from church. So I pull from the legacy I pull from the things that they've given me. And I use the things, it's like you chew the meat, you spit out the bones, and they've been able to impute certain wisdom. And I've seen certain things in the experience. So it's nothing more than making sure that I'm doing it my way, but I'm pulling on the tradition of what I come from.
Got you.
Because this, and I don't know how church you are, but I can just explain it. In Baltimore, the tension is there's a lot of legacy churches here. I'm not going to call them out, but they're legacy churches. They're strong, really strong, steeple pillars in our community. But where the city goes from here in the next 10 years, these guys who have these huge legacy churches, the churches are getting older. So the tension is how much longer can they sustain? They got the resources, they got the capital, they have the the foundation, but you don't got the bodies. You don't have the culture, you don't have the pulse of the culture. And so I pull from the legacy, like, hey, this is what our church is. We're a community church. We're a church to serve people, but we're gonna be progressive.
Yeah.
We're gonna be outside the box, but we're not gonna be so far outside the box that we forget where we come from. And that's what if you ask anybody at Limitless, we gonna do church, and we still gonna be progressive at the same time. We're gonna be outside, and we're gonna be inside.
So it's a meeting somewhere between being sacred and secular kind of.
Oh yeah. That's what we always used to say. Like, we tote the line. We right on the line. Like, we're doing it in a club. Like, it smells like weed on Tuesday from Saturday. Yeah. It's in there. So, but that doesn't stop us from what we want to do. So, yeah.
But I know, I see what you're doing. To me, it seems like you bring in the value and what people need from religion, from Christ, from church, to where they are. Because in my opinion, so I grew up in church, but I don't go to church. I don't go to church now. But like I come from those legacy churches, like so I know the churches. Two of them I went to that are really big, and I see, and everybody says it, like it's been a decline in attendance for black churches. You know, they are mega churches, but those are few and far between. Even if they have thousands of people, there are millions of black people who are unchurched or disconnected, right? and don't have a way. And that's because some of the legacy churches or pastors, they think everybody's supposed to come to them because they got the word. But when you know business, you gotta get out. You gotta be outside. You gotta get in somebody's face and be like, "Yo, I got something that can help you." Once they realize they got the problem, you gotta bring the solution to them.
Yes, sir.
That's what Amazon did for us. So you just click one button on Limitless, and now you can be here. That type of thing. So
that's Limitless everywhere.
I like that. I forgot. That's what it's called. That's what it's called.
It's called Limitless everywhere. It's Limitless Church, but the slogan is Limitless everywhere.
Yeah, that's the domain name too, right?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. So let's talk about that, because most people don't think about church as business. When you founding, people have to understand, like founder gets more related to like a startup business, so people think in terms of tech. But founders are business leaders. People who went to start farms, like who went west, they are founders. Like they literally founded new plots of land in the Midwest or wherever they went to. But also building up a church, like literally having to build it, had to bring in a congregation. That's founding. So how does that work? Like, how is that going right now? Like, what's that process like? Hey, quick break in the video to let you know that all of the quotes and insights from this episode with Josh can be found in my weekly newsletter, where I share everything it takes for you to build and found your own company in the age of AI. If you click the first link in the description, you can get access to that, as well as my Lean Operator Toolkit. It's all of the tools that I use right now to grow my business, as well as this podcast. So click the link in the description. Let's get back to the show.
Oh man, it is the most. I was having this thought yesterday about this gap between stress and stretch. It is the most stressful thing and the most blessed thing at the same time, because it's stretching everything in me. It's stretching the way I show up for people. It's stretching my empathy. But it's beautiful. Limitless, again, it's all in its name. And so it is having to fish, use a church term, or having to evangelize, which is actually not a church term, because Amazon uses the same word. Amazon, Apple, they use the term evangelism. Evangelism means to go into an opportunity zone and put bait there and say, let's see if it works. That's what Limitless was. Started off as Limitless Nights. We went around small rooms across the city. And we ended up downtown. And so I knew I never wanted it to be in a church. I wanted it to be outside. I wanted it to be, it was really simple for me. I wanted my homeboys to come to church. I wanted my homeboys, my homegirls to have a chance to be like, you did change. I mean, you're still the same guy, but you kind of solid. Let me see. So it was really a space for them to be like, yo, come hear the word. Like, let's do this Bible study. Let's kick this text. Let's make it excellent. Let's do some praise and worship. Let's do some food trucks. Let's make it an immersive experience. And so the business of it is finding the opportunity zone. So the opportunity zone for Limitless was, there is nobody in the city between 25 and 50 that's doing a Bible study in town. During the week. I knew that. So you got to be able to have vision and sight at the same time. I saw the opportunity zone was, I didn't know it was going to be a church. I just knew, if I don't do this right now, I'm going to miss it. And so if I don't do it right now, somebody else is going to do it. Because the idea is always going to be out there. It just depends on, are you going to be the one to grab the idea and execute on the idea? Because if you don't, if it's a God thing, somebody else is going to get the idea and somebody else is going to execute on that thing. So for me, it was, nobody's doing this. God, I want to do it. And I ain't had the money. I had the faith. And faith is kinetic. It moves at the space. It moves at your ability to be obedient without knowing all the pieces. So when you can see that puzzle piece, you see the puzzle piece, you see the box. When you open up that box, you get all the pieces. Faith is putting the pieces together.
Without direction.
Without the blueprint.
No roadmap.
Roadmap. It's the road less traveled. And the more you walk, the more you'll start to see. The more God will start putting you in relationships with people that you didn't know. and then another relationship, and then another relationship, and then all of a sudden you in a space where it's like, oh, I'm in what I believed 5 years ago. I just didn't know it was gonna happen like this. But that's faith. Just gotta keep moving, gotta keep going, gotta keep building, you can't walk. It's not a sight thing.
Yeah.
You
gotta walk by faith, not by sight.
It's a blind thing. You gotta go blind.
Gotcha.
And everybody's trying to go by what they see. You can't go by what you see. You gotta go, sometimes it's this feeling. I had this feeling like Baltimore about to pop. It just needs a church that speaks this language. It needs a church that gets it. It needs a church that understands it. That, yeah, we want to be progressive, but yeah, I still want to feel my grandmama on Sunday.
Yeah. Yo, let me ask you a question. let me tell you something I think about often, and I seen it last week on Instagram. But I talk to people, the people that are around me know that I say this. So I grew up in Baltimore. I know you moved here. You grew up as an adult here for the most part. Were you a teenager when you were here too?
I moved here when I was 11.
All right. So we grew up in Baltimore.
Right.
Baltimore is one of the only predominantly black cities.
63%.
Right. And to me, I'm the majority. So like that's the confidence I grew up with. Now I know what's happening out in the rest of the world, but I'm the majority. So I don't lack confidence when it comes to certain things. Like I'm outside, I can be outside, I'm cool. I could go, where I grew up, I could go a long time without seeing somebody who was not black.
Right.
Right? And what you just said made me think about that when you said you could tell Baltimore is about to pop, or you had that feeling, because you can feel the energy from a mass amount of people who are like you. So like, how does that impact what you did? Did that give you more confidence because you know who you're serving? It's not that you are not serving anybody, but you can see directly who needs what you have and how minty, like it's plentiful. A lot of cities don't believe it.
Yeah.
That is that many of us.
Yeah.
Sustain a church body, sustain a business, sustain the infrastructure for like building a community or a city. But we see it happen. We had a black mayor now. Kurt Schmoke was the mayor when I was young. Like I've always just seen me doing my thing. Marion Barry was down the street. So like I was never not feeling like I could make it happen. So I'm wondering if that rubbed off on you and how you.
Yeah. So for me, it's like Baltimore's this weird space but it's this weird town where it's like, if everybody just locked in and stayed committed to what they were doing, you don't have to go to Houston. You don't gotta go to Atlanta. You don't gotta go to Charlotte. If you till this ground, this is good ground. The reason why it's so much systematic things happening against us is because they know Baltimore is the litmus test. It's the reason why Hopkins does the testing that they do. It's the reason why Maryland does the testing that they do, because we the strongest of our kind. Baltimore's the strongest of its kind. So if you look at other cities, they're taking our even look at what the mayor's doing right now. They're literally using him. They're using what he's doing in other cities. Because if you can make it happen here, you can make it happen anywhere.
Yeah, you can do the research right now, what they did with Harbor East and what they plan to do for Inner Harbor. Other port cities or harbor cities, they didn't invest in downtown Baltimore like how our city did and turned it up and turned it into a thing. So, you spot on with that.
Yeah, I see. Baltimore is entrepreneur. The spirit of entrepreneurship is here, but the resources are gated.
Okay.
So nobody can get to the resources. So who needs to step into the space to help people get to the resources? A church. Why does the church need to step into a space where they can get the resources? Because people, what the church was always meant to do was it was always supposed to be the epicenter of the black community. So you was supposed to be commerce, it was supposed to be transactions, it was supposed to be a network. It was how we made it over. It is how we got through Jim Crow. It is how we got through all of these other systematic things that were built to keep us down. So the black church is the most powerful thing on the planet if it is done correctly, if it has integrity, if there are a people who are committed to it to say, hey, we're gonna step in the gap and do the work, and we're not just gonna be this Sunday church, we're gonna be a church for Monday. That's what I always say. I don't just preach for Sunday, I preach for Monday. I don't serve for Sunday, I serve for Monday. And so it is, the city is turning. And if you are conscious, if you are woke, if you are a person of faith, whatever it is that you believe, you can sense it. It's like it's latent, and it just needs a couple people to say. So Baltimore needs Limitless, and Limitless needs Baltimore.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think most people will push back and think that Baltimore is more blue collar than it is. It is more blue collar, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
But the space for entrepreneurship is here because blue collar people. If it's a blue collar town, who runs the blue collar businesses, right? You need entrepreneurs for that. So I can see why you would say that. I think that a lot of people outside, and because of the way the systematic things are, the barrier to entry to entrepreneurship seems very hard for people here. They are not encouraged.
No information.
They don't have enough information, which is where, like you said, churches
comes
come in. So I want to share something with you, and I thought about this, and you can tell me if you agree. One of my favorite books is called Business Secrets from the Bible. It's by Rabbi Daniel Lapin, and he talks about how business is a spiritual endeavor, right? So business is spiritual because it's intangible. You know it's there, but you can't touch it. You can do business any and everywhere. So if there's a spectrum of things that's spiritual, which is like intangible, ethereal, and then the other end is like physical, like a car or like bricks or a home or something like that. Business is closer to the spiritual end because you know it's getting done, whether you're transacting in fiat or whatever, or Bitcoin. Business is getting done because you're creating value. And what you're saying kind of feeds into that because you said Baltimore needs it and Limitless, right? Limitless needs it because you got to have, like you said, you need good soil so you can bring it in the congregation, so you can serve, so you can deliver, like deliver the word. So I think that's interesting that you put it that way. I don't think most people would think about it like that. So me thinking about that, like how do you see business partnerships for Limitless? Because you got to do something. You got to exchange commerce somehow so you can grow the things that you need to grow.
Yeah, I think it's the principle of when you look at that Bible and you see Jesus sits down, he feeds 5,000 people, plus women and children. He feeds them with 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread, and it's a little boy's lunch. So everybody gets excited that it's a miracle, but the miracle is not that Jesus does the miracle. The miracle is that Jesus gives the disciples the bread, and as the disciples continue to move, as they begin to break the bread, that's in the exchange. That's where the miracle happens. I think that's Limitless's space. That's what I see for the city, that it is in the exchanging of the bread or the information. Because we don't share a lot of information, not just in Baltimore, but in the Black community.
Yeah.
So it is in the distribution of the bread. You take that however you want to take that.
I like that. Yeah,
but it's in the distribution of that bread from one hand to the next hand, to the next hand, to the next hand, to the next hand, till everybody gets fed. So for me, Limitless is the conduit to distribute the bread. Because people don't have access to the bread, but a church can have access to the bread. And I ain't talking about money, I'm talking about information.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
I like that. So I want to switch gears a bit because I know you do coaching as well.
Oh man, you did. Yes, sir.
Or at least you did. But I mean,
I still do it.
Okay. So let's talk about that, like a bit of. So it's faith-based coaching, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that's becoming more prevalent because we got the internet, so we can see more faith-based coaches, faith-based entrepreneurs. They call them like kingdom entrepreneurs and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that label on you or anything,
Yeah,
but I know that there's a lot of that goes on, and like you said, we embrace the labels that we want or don't, and we can ignore the other stuff. But tell me about your coaching practice and how that came about.
So coaching came from right in this room. Okay. Like it came from. I was always interested in speaking, but I was interested in people that weren't in church culture. So I was
weren't in church culture.
Yeah. I was interested in the information that they had. So we would call it knowledgepreneurship. So I wouldn't call it myself an entrepreneur. I would call myself a knowledgepreneur because I want to help somebody get information, and I don't want to gridlock myself into one focused space. So I want to be able to give you, hey, from ideation to execution. I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to help that whole path. So the way that came about is that I was looking online and I was studying these other guys who are in these spaces where they're in these communication spaces where you got E.T. the hip hop preacher, or you got Ed Milat, or I'm not big on Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins. But you got these other guys who are doing technically the motivational work through word.
Yeah.
And they're hitting people in marketplace. They're hitting people in corporate spaces in a way that is different than church, right? And so for me, I wanted to speak to people who never would come into church. Okay. But I wanted to use the principles from the Bible without ever talking about the Bible. That was my thing. And so I got my certifications. I started doing my study. I started really immersing myself into it, and my content changed. So that's why when I talk, I can do the Bible, but I don't have to use it because I am not trying to be gridlocked into a particular space.
What did you learn in those teachers that helped your content change? Okay.
Frameworks. You learn how to think through frames. You learn how to think through application, parallels. You learn how to think in real time. So right now, a framework that I'm in real time, it's not flushed out, so you're getting it fresh off the press. You're getting it fresh. Is this framework where I always say, Dave Ramsey is famously quoted for saying, when a target, he says, when a target is defined, direction will appear. So to be unclear is to be unkind. That's his big thing. Okay. And so from that, I said, when a target is defined, direction will appear. And so what most people are trying to get into is this thing called flow state, right? And so what is the easiest way to get into flow state? The easiest way to get back into your flow is to be anchored.
Right.
What does that mean? Your anchor is your authority. Don't talk about stuff you don't know. Don't focus on things you don't know. Focus on what you know. Be anchored. Out of that, you get what? Your aim. Your aim is your target. Because now you're talking, now you're moving in what you know. Now your target is clear. Just those two frames are going to help you get back in flow. Because if you can get in flow, now you in the zone. That's what athletes talk about.
Yeah.
That zone, that's your ability to get from. That's how Steph Curry does it. He's not going to hit it every night, but he has to have that margin and that gap between a bad game and a good game. It's like this, like 1%. So you got to get back in the flow quickly. So it's just a frame. That's what that world taught me, that the preaching world didn't teach me. The preaching world taught me your 3 points, but the coaching space taught me how to give people something tangible in their hand. Oh, I can make this work in my real world.
Yeah. And the tangible thing.
And the tangible thing. Yeah, the frameworks. Oh, man.
Yeah, I've been through some coaching, and I think that way too, right?
Yep.
I think about different, but I like what you said, because you just explained something to me that I was just going through, where the target, like if you have a business, you're supposed to have like a target audience, right? But it really starts with yourself. Like if you're grounded in what you can talk about, you can talk about it forever, which is why I'm here podcasting, talking about business. But I had got away from that because I was trying to make what I talk about, whether it's online on the podcast or whatever, about other people. And now that you say it, I see why I had the speed of success for my juice bar, because I was plant-based for however long, and I lived in it. So selfishly, I'm just talking about this now because you just enlightened me. So it was natural for me to start with me and then just share it. And so I'm glad I'm here. I get to share with you, because now I can just share what we're talking about, the connection between like building a business and building like your relationship with yourself, building your faith. All those things are connected. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
thanks for sharing that.
Can I share something else?
Yeah.
Because what happens is in that gap is what we call fragmentation. Right? That fragmentation is like I'm talking uphill instead of downhill.
Yeah.
So my authority is not in talking uphill. I'm trying to figure it out. when I'm trying to put it together, it becomes fragmented. That's what happens when you're moving uphill, because momentum is a mountain climb or a mudslide, right? And so what you're doing when you want to be working, you want to create this momentum, this kinetic thing. I'm moving. I know what I'm talking about. I'm in my zone. I'm in my flow. And when you're in that flow, oh man, it's over. So most people get caught in the fragmentation or am I saying it right?
Fragmentation,
Yeah. They get caught in that space, and that's where doubt starts to creep in.
Yeah, that's what we all deal with that, and imposter syndrome pops up too, because now you're talking about something you think you know about, and you do, but there are people who may be further up the hill. Everything they're doing it looks downhill to you, and that's why you feel like you don't belong at that position.
Right. But if you flow from what you know, then you'll get there.
I like that, you flow from what you know. That's a bar.
Yeah.
I like that. With faith-based coaching, are there people who you find have more success than others when it comes to that, like how they receive the info or how they implement it?
Yes, I don't think people. So there's two worlds within this coaching period.
Okay.
There are the super fans that come to coaching to get the information, but just stay connected to the person. Then there are the people who get the information and move on. The people who are on the latter half and they move on, they are the more successful people.
Got you. Yeah.
People who come to get the information and execute quickly. Their gap on execution, that's the sauce. That moving from ideation to execution, that gap has to be super, super, super thin. If it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the coaching, I'm gonna spend this money, spend $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 for coaching. And you're just doing it to get close to the guy and not do the work. Now you got now you got the information.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to Denis about this the other day. She was like, we're not in a idea graveyard, lack of better words. I didn't say that. She said it better than me. She was like, we're in an execution deficit. People don't execute.
Let me say something, man. She be knowing, because when we did the podcast together and she dropped the line about impact, I was like, yeah, so I got to write that one down too, man. It's an execution deficit.
Yeah. It's a strong.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. It's strong. It's powerful, because it helps you. What it should do is that it should help frame the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Because if you got a whole bunch of people who are scared to execute, and you trying to do something impactful for people, them people are gonna stop you from doing what you need to do. So it becomes a framework to be like, okay, we can have this relationship, but you're not an executor. You're kind of like an ideator. And I love people who like to ideate, but business people like people who like to execute. Look for the opportunity to solve problems. I was thinking about it the other day. Everybody has vision. I think it was who was it? It was the former president of Tesla. He did a recent interview with Ed Mylett podcast, and he was talking about how people, when he looks for leaders, he's not looking for people who are visionary. He's looking for people who can solve problems. Problem solving is the currency of leadership. If you can solve the problem, you're always gonna be hired.
Yeah, man, I like that too. So but success loves speed. So you gotta move fast. I learned through that. Like I had one of my buddies, he's more successful in the restaurant space, and I was telling him the problems I was having, and he was like, Q, you moving slow. And like I could take that personally, or I could just get faster. And so I just started to get fast. So I like talking to him or being around him because he makes me move fast. And I'm very aware of something that I like, which is being around energizing people. Like I'm getting the vibe from you because they make you feel more full when you're around. And I've been in like coaching groups and stuff like that, and I'm triggered to go fast now. And the other people are not bad people, but they just move slow.
Yeah.
And like, it's not personal. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I either don't want to be in the community, or I'm not trying to invite you to what I have going on. Like I see how we could be beneficial to one another, or even just how I can help you, but you might be moving slow. And so I'm glad you shared that, because people should understand that it's really not personal. Actually, it's a disservice to the people that you're trying to help if you are moving slow. And you just gotta put some speed on that thing.
Yeah, because my speed is gonna frustrate you.
Yeah, you got to put some, and that's why people love Elon Musk. You know, he got some other things they may not like.
Yeah.
He's always thinking like, why can't it get done faster? And sometimes you're gonna fall short.
Right.
But you actually don't have to. You can be unreasonable about how fast things need to get done. Like we changed the time for this. I just changed the things to make sure that we got it done. But I can appreciate that, and I think that's the energy that people also need. They need faith brought to them in that way, and they need to understand that they probably should be moving faster towards the person that they want to be, and that comes through clarity and having the target.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's talk about one thing real quick about, and this can maybe help somebody that's listening or watching.
Yeah.
How do you help people understand? How do you help them get clear on the target? Because that's where a lot of people fall short. They be fragmented because they're trying to do so many different things, or they're trying to improve. Some people feel like you can only improve one thing at a time. Some people feel like they got to improve all the things at the same rate, and then they just kind of get pulled apart, stretched thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us some guidance on that one.
Yeah, I'm big on do the one thing, and the one thing will open up the door for the other things.
Okay.
I'm big on that. I'm a living witness to that. Like, that's how Limitless came about. Like, I focused on one thing. I said I'm gonna get really good at communication in front of a camera.
Okay.
That was one thing. Was I gifted on stages? Yes. Did I have other things that I could do? Yes. But the most powerful thing about the gifts, when God gives gifts, he does not give them singularly. He does not give them disconnected. He gives them, they're all interconnected. So the vision with the tactical, those gifts are not separate. So when people start to talk, they talk fragmented because my people die because of lack of knowledge. So gifts are not, like, they're not separated. They all are working together. But we got to understand, work the one gift, work the one thing that makes the most sense right now, knowing that the other gifts are not going to die because they're interconnected. They're not going to die. They're interconnected. They're a part of you. It's not like the gift belongs over there and it's over there. No, the gifts are within you. So if you work the one gift, that one gift is going to give you the competency, because that's where your power is. It's in your competency. I'm going back to the same stuff, the same frame. It's the competency. You build competency by doing the one thing. When you build competency, you have confidence.
Yeah.
Because confidence is built out of competence. So people are confident, but but it's not real because you don't have the information. So you do the one thing, and when you get clear on that one thing and choosing that one thing, and everybody knows there's one thing that they could do. I'm not a big proponent of saying, well, people don't know what they want to do. I don't believe that. When I say that, people are like, that's so arrogant of me. It's like, no, it's not arrogant of me to say that. I think there is something in you that you want to do, but you might not want to do it because there's a dollar amount attached to it. So most people don't move in what they want to move in because they don't see that there is some kind of monetary gain from it. But if it's really your gift, and if you really believe it, you will put the time into it. And out of that time, and out of that 10,000 hours, which you really need more than 10,000 hours, you will get so good at it that you will become undeniable.
Yeah.
This table was built because I got good at it. Your table was built because you got good at it. Then after you built it, people started coming to it.
So let me inject this into that idea though. Because that's a good way to frame it, right? You think about the gift that you can work on, and then the money will follow. But a lot of people might confuse that gift for a passion, where they think that they're supposed to be passionate about the thing, or they say you do what you love and you never work another day in your life, and all of those things sound good. I think that there's some truth to it. Do you see the difference in that, or do you think they're the same thing, or do you meet people who always try to bring that up and make that the thing?
The passion? Yeah. So I think you should have a passion, but passion doesn't always relate to purpose.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not. And so you got to be very clear. Hey, what is the most important thing for right now? And because we're grown, you don't got time to be trying to dream. Sometimes it's like you need food on the table, you need things to be done, you need bills to be paid. So Do you need to be working that passion right now? This is why maturity comes in. You need to be clear on who you are, because if you're not clear on who you are, you'll start putting a whole lot of stuff on the plate, a whole lot of passion projects, and the passion projects not going to lead you to no money, no food on your table.
Yeah.
So you got to be clear on that. And so I don't conflate the two.
Gotcha.
I think you need to be clear. Like, hey, my passion project was podcasting. My purpose is building a church.
Yeah.
That's how it was for me. And so there's something, I like to do the podcasting, the communication, the coaching, but that's not the thing for me. The God thing for me is to pastor a church, to pastor people, to help people with their walk in their faith and connect benefactors and beneficiaries, put them in the same room, because the city needs that kind of space. So
Yeah.
I hope I'm being clear.
Very clear.
I hope.
Very clear. The two things that could be going on at the same time, right? My man always say, Derek Falcon from Cloudy Donuts. You got what you working on and what you working in, right? And you could be working on the thing that you know is the passion, or however you want to separate it, but they are not always the same thing. And I think it's very important, especially people that are building businesses, to understand that.
Yeah.
Like, your purpose is to get whatever job done so that you can benefit yourself, benefit your family. Like, you can love music, but you don't need to compete with Beyonce. You're not going to win. You're not going to win.
Yeah.
So you can just sing on the side, you can play violin on the side, you know, whatever, you can rap on the side, produce beats, whatever the case may be. If you truly feel fulfilled from it, I think you'll get what you need. I think you'll get what you need from it. So, yeah, I think people gotta better understand that. So, what I would like to ask, though, kind of going back to Limitless, I kind of forgot about that question, but it's back now. For people who have any kind of challenges around faith or understanding, like, what do you find are some of the biggest issues people have around embracing faith more? Trust in themselves and what they were taught, or just trust in the word?
The institution.
Okay.
The institution of church. What they've seen, and now we're overexposed. And you know, like, I don't know how real I can be. I want to be measured. I want to be polished. But yeah, we've seen a lot of foolishness. A lot of guys who not really stand-up guys.
Yeah.
Who don't really come from anything, and so they get in front of I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Like, if you was corny in high school, you corny now.
Yeah. Well, it's in you, not on you.
Right. It's right. So if you was a gump in high school, you probably a gump now.
Yeah.
That money, that stage and that platform, your ability to articulate yourself in a certain kind of way rhythmically and galvanize people into a room, that is not the benchmark for me. The benchmark for me is, can you do the work? Are you gonna do the work? Because the work is not Sunday, the work is Monday through Saturday. So for me, that's the trust factor. The know, like, and trust factor is, do you do the work in church? That's gonna make people trust church. I think the biggest thing is, people wanna come. I think the fluff of church, people don't want that anymore. People want to go where they can be taught the word. People want to go where they can find their people. They can find like-minded people that they can do life with. But I find that the biggest thing is the trust in the institution, because we have a lot of clowns in the institution.
Well, that's really clear. That's really clear.
I'm sure that's probably not the best thing to say, but it's just true.
Yeah.
And I think at least your audience, my audience, would appreciate me saying that, because we got a lot of like.
And it's not just in Baltimore. Like, it's the institution itself, right? All around. Yeah.
It's the institution itself. It's like, I would go to his church. Would I hang out with him? I would go to his church, or I would go to that church, because it's not my church, it's God's church. I would go to that church, but do I see my people there?
Gotcha, yeah.
That's the differentiation. That's the thing that makes it different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have another question about that then. And this, like you said, sometimes you want to be polished. But I just got to ask the real question. Do you feel like the institution let people down as far as, like, taking care of the community?
Yeah.
Or their congregation or the constituents, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There is no way around it. Yes, we failed. Yes, the institution failed. And it didn't just fail, it really failed our generation. That's why we're not going. Because we saw that it failed my mom. My mom was giving you money. My like giving you everything. And y'all didn't even do the funeral. Just little petty, just little stuff, like little stuff, but yes, those are huge things. Those are huge things for us in the Black community. Like, you're not gonna do the funeral? You gonna make my mom, you gonna charge me for the funeral? That is the thing that's like, yeah, I saw you get in that car, you had your life, and I don't like you. And so because I don't like you, I've distanced myself from the church, and I've distanced myself from church, and subsequently I've distanced myself from God. Not because you can't have your own personal relationship with God, but faith is built in the community of brotherhood and sisterhood. And so I'm always trying to, my big thing is trying to, which is why I'm trying to make sure that when people come to Limitless, they still feel their grandmama's church. Like, it's not a tangible thing, it's a spiritual thing. It's a feeling, especially with Black folk. It's a feeling, like, it's like, yeah, I feel my grandmama would approve of this church.
Yeah.
And so, I think there's a lot of distrust, and so I'm trying to build that trust. I'm not perfect.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you still in builder phase.
Yeah, I'm still in builder
Let's
phase,
talk
yeah.
about how you incorporate some of that grandma's feeling, because there are people who are going to be listening to this from anywhere.
Cool.
And they may be watching online. They can still get this, like you said, it's spiritual, so, or it's a feeling thing, right? Back to the spiritual thing. So it could be, might can feel it online, or for our people here in Baltimore, they may want to come and attend, service. But a lot of church is built on legacy, right? Because we got one of the oldest books ever, right? That we use in there. So how do you feel? How will you go about that within Limitless? Like, how do you bring some of that tradition, some of that feeling, that, because some people may not have went to church with their grandmother. They can still feel her, though. They know, if they had a relationship with her, they can still understand what my grandma may like. So how do you bring it? Oh, and also, second part, how do you get older people involved in Limitless? Right, we need our elders around to a certain degree. Well, we need them around, period. So how do you bring that together?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, because that the saying is, get your grandmama would approve, but it's ethereal. It's not, you can't touch it. It's a feeling. And I think the way that we do it is, I don't know how we're doing it.
But you know that's what it feel like.
I don't know. I think we've tried to. I think somebody else will probably articulate it better than me, but for me, it is, we've been authentically ourselves. I'm a church baby. That's who I am, and it got on me, and it's in me, and I'm gonna do all of the things and to make you feel like I can be very practical. I can be very logical. But I can turn that corner, tell you, touch your neighbor. I'm gonna do all of the things. And I don't think that is just something that's something you gotta experience. Yeah. That's not something that I could tell you. That's something you gotta come to. Like, you gotta get in the room. And so I think, but to your other point, like, when people are watching it online, they can feel it. And I think with the content that I was doing, people felt that, like, oh, I feel some connection to God. I feel that. And so I think when you come into the space, there are certain things that we do. Like, we're gonna be warm with you. We're gonna greet you at the door. So you might not have come to church as a kid, but if you did come to church as a kid, you'd be like, oh, this is like the ushers.
Yeah.
Right, but if you didn't come to church as a kid, you're like, this feels warm. These people feel nice. This feels different. That's what everybody says. This is different. I know what they're saying. They don't have the language, but they feel God.
Yeah.
That's what you feel. You feel love. That God is love. And so that's how I would answer that first question. Yeah, so to answer your second part of your question, we're intentional right now that both of my fathers, my father-in-law and my father, both are pastors, and we have leaned heavily on them with making sure that the wisdom that we pull from them, having relationship with them, we actually are, I sit at their table every week. And actually I have we actually have a training next month at my father-in-law's church
Okay.
to make sure that we're doing this the right way, so the tradition is there. Like, I'm big on legacy. That's one of our values. Legacy is leadership is our legacy, and we want to make sure that that the seasoned saints or the people with more life experience see that there's a clear track, there's a clear path, there's a clear legacy path that this place comes from. Because Limitless, even though it's a new church, it doesn't feel new. So everybody says. And it doesn't feel new because I'm pulling on this legacy. I'm pulling on this ancient legacy. This is what we come from. And it is, that's the legacy we pull from is First Mount Olive Free Will Baptist Church, Christian Life Church.
I like it. So where can everybody get in contact with? Where do you want people to go? Do you want them to go to Limitless Everywhere? Like, what's the thing they need to take away so they can learn more, so they can grow more, so they can be in touch with you and get tapped in with the leadership, with the legacy?
So Limitless Everywhere is everything. So YouTube, website, Instagram, IG, that's the same thing. TikTok, it's Limitless Everywhere. And so we want to be a church that's everywhere, so you don't have to pick. You can go anywhere and that information is going to be there. Gotcha. But you can go on the website, limitlesseverywhere.com, or you can find us on IG at Limitless Everywhere. We are having a Good Friday service. So again, that's the tradition, that's the legacy that we come from. That's that Baltimore church legacy. Like, we do Good Friday services. They traditionally, they would do a 7 last words. We're not doing no 7 last words, but we're doing a traditional service. And we ask everybody wear black. Because last year we did a funeral service because Jesus died. And so we did it at the funeral. We did it at a funeral home, finally on the Alameda.
Interesting.
And it was interesting. And we had everybody wear black, and we had a service. Yeah. And we had everybody give black roses, and it was a thing.
I got a question I should have asked earlier. But I think this is a high note to get out of here on.
Yes.
What do you like so much about it? Because as we talking here, you smiling, you thinking, we back and forth, like you said, you moving back and forth. So it keep you live. What do you like most about this, man?
Limitless?
Yeah.
It's dope. It's cool. It's a vibe. It's the best of everything in my life, and it's the best of everything in the city's life. It is that we want to be progressive, but we still want to be rooted in our tradition. And so that's what Limitless, that's why I get excited about talking about it. Because I'm thinking about all the ideas that y'all don't know yet that we're about to roll out. That's going to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be one of them ones. This is going to be like when you see what we do online, it is us being resourceful, but not knowing that we're being resourceful. Because y'all probably think when you see us online, you probably like, yo, this is popping. You don't know. You probably didn't know that the content was coming from in this room.
Right. Yeah.
So it is me really like, I'm a kid. I'm coloring outside the lines with Limitless. I'm using red, I'm using blue, I'm using all of these different colors to paint this picture. I'm trying to rewrite the narrative in a city. And I'm doing it through a church. And there was other ways that I could have done it. I feel like I could have done it another way. But God was like, no, this is the best way to do it. Because this is the God way to do it. And that's why I get excited. I vacillate between the feelings of crying and I vacillate between the feelings of smiling. Because it's like, like God uses imperfect people to do a perfect work. And I'm an imperfect man. And people that come to Limitless, I'm not requiring you to be perfect. I'm just requiring you to make progress, give it a chance, get in the space, be present. Yeah. That's why I get excited about Limitless. Because it's still dope. That's like at the end of it, it's dope. I would go to Limitless if I didn't go to Limitless.
I don't know how much. That's biased.
It is. It is biased. Like I'm saying, like.
But I get what you mean though. Just the type of person you built, what you wanted to see.
Yeah, but the people that's coming is the people that's outside.
And so that lets you know you did the right thing.
That lets me know I'm doing it right. That's the people that I was going down Select with on Saturdays. The people that was going, like when I was outside, like we older now.
Yeah.
So we like, yo, I can't do that. Like I need 72 hours of reprieve to get my life back together. So it's like I can't get it back. Like it's not a 24-hour turnaround. So we're growing and we're changing, and we need this foundation in our life right now. And I think Limitless is it. That's bias,
No,
but
that's real.
I think it is.
Well, Pastor Josh, man, appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I
Great
appreciate
episode.
you. This was great.